Hello, I'm Erin McLaughlin, Vice Dean of Undergraduate Affairs in the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm speaking to you live from Whittemore House, and I'm excited to serve as your virtual MC for the evening as we celebrate you, our amazing donors, as well as the students you helped support. This is my first year leading the college and my first time hosting this event. It is such an honor to share stories of our outstanding students and donors. I'm so glad that you are all able to join us for this celebration, even though it looks a bit different from our traditional Scholars in Arts and Sciences event. I hope this evening leaves you feeling inspired by our students and gives you a greater understanding of the power that your support has on our community. Tonight, you'll be able to hear and see me and the other presenters, but you will not be able to use your microphone or camera. However, we have enabled the chat function, and we hope you will share with us and with everyone watching why it is that you have chosen to support scholarships in arts and sciences, or what makes you grateful for the program. We are recording the presentation and will share the recording with scholarship sponsors and students who are not able to attend. We are here to recognize our students and to celebrate the donors who help make our community a place in which they can all flourish and meet their considerable potential. So before we begin, I'd like to give you a brief update on the newest members of Washington University's undergraduate community. Members of the WashU class of 2025 are from 49 US states and 20 countries, plus the District of Columbia, Guam, and Puerto Rico. 65% of our students hail from more than 500 miles away, including our international students, who make up 7% of the newest class. Our undergraduate students are drawn from a pool of 33,634 applicants, and 12% are the first in their families to attend college. 17% are eligible for a federal Pell Grant, and many more come from middle-class families. 25% of the class are underrepresented students of color. Of the 1,988 enrolled students in the Washington University class of 2025, more than two-thirds, or 1,346, are arts and sciences students. The Arts and Sciences class of 2025 is our biggest class ever. We aim to welcome the most thoughtful, talented, and engaged students into our community of scholars, regardless of financial background. For this reason, we are committed to lowering the financial barriers of attending WashU. Your support helps make that commitment a reality. You may have heard the exciting announcement last month about the university's adoption of a need-blind admissions policy, effective immediately. This game-changing development means that the university will not consider an applicant's financial situation when making admissions decisions. And as before, we remain committed to meeting 100% of demonstrated financial need for admitted undergraduates. This investment in student support, which we are calling Gateway to Success, is largely the result of an unprecedented 65% financial gain from our managed endowment. This return is very much connected to the long-standing philanthropic support of our generous donors. Over the last 85 years, the university's scholarship program has grown significantly, thanks to loyal and dedicated donors like you. Today, in arts and sciences, more than 700 students receive donor-funded financial support. It is incredibly heartening to have so many scholarship sponsors among our ranks who are committed to providing our students with the full range of educational opportunities. With Gateway to Success and your continued support, we hope to make arts and sciences education available for even more students. As you will soon hear from scholarship recipients themselves, your support helps shape the lives of WashU students and offers them a chance to focus on their academic achievement, their research, and their future goals without the added burden of financial stress. Efforts to broaden educational access and improve diversity, equity, and inclusion remain top priorities for arts and sciences and the university, and Gateway to Success will help us to advance these goals in truly meaningful ways. It is now my pleasure to introduce Chancellor Andrew Martin. Chancellor Martin has time and again shown his commitment to supporting students financially. In addition to the Gateway to Success initiative for need-blind admissions, in 2019, he announced the WashU Pledge, which provides a free undergraduate education to incoming full-time Missouri and Southern Illinois students who are eligible for Pell Grants or who come from families with an annual income of $75,000 or less. Chancellor Martin joins us now to speak about the impact of scholarship support in arts and sciences.
It is my pleasure to join you virtually to celebrate this year's generous scholarship donors and talented scholarship recipients in arts and sciences. An extraordinary group of people are gathered for this event, albeit virtually, but tonight's event provides only a snapshot of the full scope and impact of the scholarships program in arts and sciences. As the largest undergraduate school and home for graduate research, arts and sciences is, in many ways, the heart of Washington University. Your contributions to scholarships and arts and sciences impact the world in countless ways. Our graduates have made scientific discoveries, created new cultural understanding, and thoughtfully addressed many of society's most critical issues. As just one example, alumna Rochelle Walensky, formerly Rochelle Bursoff, was the recipient of the Eleanor and Frederick Waymiller Scholarship while an undergraduate student at Washington University in the late 1980s. She studied biochemistry and molecular biology in arts and sciences. With the support of her scholarship, she graduated in 1991 and went on to earn an MD from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. She began her medical career at the height of the HIV/AIDS crisis and has worked ever since on researching, treating, and combating infectious diseases. Her pioneering research helped advance the national and global response to the disease, and she is now considered one of the nation's most respected experts on AIDS, HIV, and the value of testing and the treatment of deadly viruses. Last December, she was selected to be the 19th director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I am extremely proud to say that a WashU alumna was selected for this critical position at a time when the country and the world were counting on the CDC's science and leadership. Dr. Walensky's story is one of initiative and tenacity and shows what can happen when we foster the immense potential of our students. In short, students like her make the world a better place, and your support helps them do so. And your support has been extraordinary. In the last fiscal year, Arts and Sciences raised more than $12 million for scholarships. Scholarship donors, your generous gifts have an impact not only on the exceptional students receiving your scholarship, but also on every person, every community, and every endeavor they encounter in life. The recipients in attendance this evening represent the vast number of students who have benefited or will benefit from many of these scholarships over time. The stories you hear tonight will remind you that scholarships are investments that provide remarkable returns spanning generations. I often meet alumni who received scholarships as students and who now give back to support scholarships themselves. This spirit of generosity pervades our university community and is always evident in arts and sciences. At Washington University, we are fortunate to have earned the enthusiastic support of alumni and friends like you. Thank you for your continued support and generosity. I now have the pleasure of introducing Feng-Sheng Hu, the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, who joined Washington University in the summer of 2020. He is widely recognized for his innovative interdisciplinary research on long-term ecosystem dynamics in relation to climate change. He has already been an asset to our Washington University community, and I know he believes strongly in the power of scholarships to have a real and lasting impact. Please help me welcome Dean Hu.
Thank you, Chancellor Martin, and many thanks to all of you, our friends, alumni, and students who are with us this evening. As Vice Dean Aaron McLaughlin mentioned earlier, thanks to Chancellor Martin's visionary leadership and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, last month, Washington University announced a historic investment of $1 billion in student financial aid. With this, we have achieved a decades-long goal of practicing need-blind undergraduate admissions. A student's ability to pay will no longer be a factor in undergraduate admissions decisions. So this is a watershed moment in Washington University history. To our supporters joining us tonight, it is because of you that we were able to take this bold leap forward, increasing student access to the world-class education that WashU offers. You've helped open our doors to the most talented and promising students in the nation, and we will now be able to contend for these exceptional scholars on equal footing with our most competitive peer institutions. We were able to commit to opening our doors even wider because of the visionary support donors like you have shown throughout the years. With your robust, unwavering generosity, Chancellor Martin and the Board of Trustees are confident that we can meet our need-blind commitment year after year. Scholarship support will continue to play a critical role in making a WashU education affordable to all. And that is one of many reasons that we are gathered to celebrate and recognize you this evening. As you all know, a world-class education is one of the most valuable assets a person can give or receive. With a liberal arts education from Washington University, students have the foundation to pursue a wide array of careers. Just as important, they learn to move through the world with curiosity and grace, adapting to new situations, solving complex problems, and appreciating diverse cultures. Education is truly a passport to the future, and scholarship support is a special visa that makes our students' futures brighter. This idea means a great deal to me. I, myself, am a first-generation college graduate who came from an extremely humble background. For many students like me, education is the path to social mobility, unlocking possibilities that they and their families might never have imagined. Yet scholarship support does far more than benefit the students who directly receive it. Your support helps make WashU a reality for students of all backgrounds. Those students bring with them a multitude of talents and diverse perspectives that shape our school, our campus, and our community. For all these reasons, I find each scholarship gift truly inspiring. Each gift touches our students in meaningful ways, and each scholarship is an investment in our collective future. Tonight, as we celebrate how far we have come, I ask that you look ahead to the incredible students waiting at our doors and to the pivotal discoveries they will make someday, and consider what we can accomplish together in the years to come. I look forward to building on this important work with you. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you, Dean Hu, for those heartfelt remarks about the ways in which our community is strengthened by scholarship gifts. And now I'm going to read a couple of comments from our chat. First, I want to thank Faith, a scholarship recipient who wrote in the chat that she is, quote, sincerely grateful that, for the scholarship that she has received because the award has helped, sorry, we're getting there. It's helped her achieve some of the goals that she's had educationally, and has helped her to further do the impossible. End of quote. And Kirsten wrote, quote, "Scholarship support for me means that I am able to continue my education and build a life for myself and my son. Without scholarships, I wouldn't be able to ever go to school. I'm incredibly thankful for the scholarship that I have received." Thank you to all the students who have shared your thoughts. This year, we have asked both an undergraduate student and a graduate student to share what it means to them to receive financial support for their education. First, you will hear from Noor Ghanem, a senior majoring in biology with a double minor in medical humanities and writing. She is currently applying to medical school, including MD, PhD programs, with the hope of specializing in pediatrics. Noor joined our arts and sciences community from Qatar and is a recipient of the Joseph and May Winston Memorial Scholarship, sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. David A. Winston. In addition to supporting undergraduates, our Scholars in Arts and Sciences program also helps provide fellowships for graduate students. Through such fellowships, we are able to recruit the best and brightest students to our graduate programs in arts and sciences. The intellectual contribution of graduate students to our university community, and especially in arts and sciences, is transformative. Our graduate students conduct original research that presents innovative and creative solutions to society's most pressing issues. The graduate student sharing her story tonight is no exception. Angelique de la Razan is studying brain, behavior, and cognition with specific interests in episodic memory in the Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences. Angelique is a first-generation graduate student, a National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellow, a member of the Psychology Graduate Student Association Committee, and a member of the Badminton Club. She is a recipient of the Lichtenberg Scholarship in Geropsychology, which was created in memory of Susan McNeill Lichtenberg and Rebecca Clausen Lichtenberg. I'm sure you will enjoy hearing both of their stories.
Thank you, Vice Dean McLaughlin. I remember showing up to WashU as a first year, being so eager and so excited for the first chapter of my life to begin. I did my best to seize every opportunity that I could. And then everything changed during my sophomore year when students were sent home due to COVID. Although I was born and raised in the US, for the last 7 years, my family has been living abroad in Doha, Qatar, where my parents work. So when students were sent home due to COVID, I went back home overseas for what I thought was going to be a few weeks, but actually turned out to be a year and a half. I was pretty devastated to leave WashU behind. I never realized just how much purpose I felt being on campus, and never realized all the things that I would miss, like seeing my professors and learning from them in person, or staying up late in Olin to study for my exams. Something my dad always says, and I realize it's true now, is that WashU has such a conducive environment for learning, for curiosity, for growth. And when I left this space, I felt a lot of my excitement for school dissipate with it, which was hard. It's interesting because when you traditionally think of university, there's an automatic association with academics, right? But I've realized that it's the holistic experience of college that makes it so meaningful. Back in my junior year abroad, I spent every day till 6 a.m. due to time zone differences, just doing a late night stream of physics equations and Zoom meetings, which was really hard. And it made me realize that the thing I value the most about WashU is how every day here in person just feels like a little adventure. That's where I was really excited to come back to campus this semester. I'll admit it's definitely been a little bit of an adjustment. I think we're all trying to heal from the collective trauma of this pandemic. I've been looking for a space to heal on campus, and it's been pretty easy to find. Every other night or so, my friends and I will go down to the East End and watch the sunset, or we'll drink hot chocolates and Whispers, take naps in Whispers booths, which are comfortable, and sometimes we'll sit in Grand Chapel and just reflect quietly when it's open. And it's really those moments that are just so precious to me. My family has a multi-generational experience with scholarship. You know, growing up, my dad would tell my sister and I stories of how, he grew up in poverty and came to the US on a scholarship to study mathematics. And he really instilled this gratitude in my sister and I. And thinking about academic scholarship, it has definitely changed my life. There is no way I would have been able to come to WashU without it. And I imagine a future for myself that is really fulfilling. I'm hoping to go into pediatric end-of-life care, which I know sounds really depressing and is the kind of work that nobody really wants to do. But through my classes at WashU and losing loved ones to COVID, I've learned a lot about the importance of a dignified death and the things that a truly good doctor can do to make those difficult moments easier for children and their families. My calling to medicine and this specialty, although it is subject to change, really stems from my passion for service and caring for others when they're at their most vulnerable. And although this might be a bit of a stretch, I do feel like it comes full circle, because a lot of who I am today and where I am today and who I want to be in the future stems from the generosity and support and kindness that other people, both loved ones and strangers, have shown me, including many of you. Scholarship has also done more for me than just provide academic opportunities, and I think it's really important for me to acknowledge that. It lifted a burden off my family and I, and has allowed me to truly enjoy the WashU experience. It's not only my academic experiences that have been so formative for me, but really all the time I've spent at WashU. It's made me grow so much as a person, and I'm really, truly grateful for anyone that has supported WashU scholarships. Anyone that took a look at the students on this campus and thought, these students are worth investing in. It is such an honor to be invested in, and I hope that I can live up to the expectations that come with that kind of a gift. And now that I'm in my senior year, I'm thrilled not only for myself to have these moments at WashU, but also for my younger sister, who is just beginning her time here. It really feels like a continued gift for the two of us to be here together, when our family lives overseas. Interestingly, although my sister and I are both scholarship recipients, my dad actually donates every now and then when he can. And curiously, I asked him about it one day. He took the opportunity to talk to me about gratitude and the importance of paying it forward. And now that I'm a senior, he constantly reminds me to sign up for alumni networks and tells me to donate when I can when I graduate. And I definitely plan on it if it means that someone can have even half as fulfilling of an experience at WashU as I have.
Thank you, Vice Dean McLaughlin. It's an honor to be here. I grew up in the city just 30 minutes outside of San Francisco, California. It was a poverty-stricken community where schools were underperforming and test scores were far below the state average. So I never really had the luxury of exploring the what-ifs of becoming a scientist. After high school, I attended community college and did training that allowed me to work in a nursing facility that housed older patients who had cognitive and physical impairments. With every interaction with them, I was always left wondering how the physical deterioration of their brain could affect their entire being. So I immersed myself in the fields of psychology and cognitive neuroscience. This led me to transfer to the University of California, Davis, where I received my bachelor's degree. And now I'm here as a graduate student, and my research focuses on using naturalistic or lifelike stimuli to investigate how we retrieve and construct real-world complex memories. I'm interested in relating these behaviors to the brain, and I'm fascinated by the possible implications that this has on age-related cognitive decline. The Psychological and Brain Sciences at Washington University offers an unparalleled environment for my training and development. Washington University has a strong, renowned team of researchers and offers an opportunity for broad training. In addition to the exceptional graduate training program, the school has an expansive set of neuroimaging facilities, as well as opportunities for clinical collaborations. This is an ideal place for me as a young scientist. I'm sincerely honored to have been selected as a recipient of the Lichtenberg Scholarship in Geropsychology. I was thrilled of my selection, and I'm deeply appreciative of Dr. Lichtenberg's generosity. With the help of his contribution, I'm able to devote more time to research, mentorship of undergraduate students, and involvement in outreach programs. I'd also like to thank all of the sponsors of graduate fellowships. Your support enables graduate students like me to focus on new and innovative research that allows us to better understand ourselves, others, and the world. In addition, thank you to my mentors, my family, my friends, and my partner for all of your help throughout my journey. I honestly wouldn't be here without you.
Thank you to both Noor and Angelique for sharing your experiences with us. You're both incredibly talented people, and I'm so happy you have found your academic home with us here at WashU. Each year, we also ask scholarship donors to share why they support students by funding either an annual or an endowed scholarship. Today, we will hear from Tom Schaup and Ellen Barker. Originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Tom earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Washington and Jefferson College and a master's degree and PhD in physics from WashU in 1977. Ellen is a first-generation college student who majored in urban studies and graduated from WashU in 1976. Ellen and Tom were both scholarship recipients during their time at WashU, which is one of the reasons they have been such steadfast supporters of scholarships. You can see their commitment to both the university and arts and sciences through their participation as members of WashU's San Francisco Regional Cabinet, which organizes and guides alumni activities in the San Francisco area, and through their annual support of the Ellen Barker and Tom Schaup Scholarship. It is my honor to introduce Ellen Barker and Tom Schaup.
I'm Ellen Barker, and this is my husband, Tom Schaup. We are enthusiastic scholarship donors because once we were enthusiastic scholarship recipients. I was the child of a truck driver and a stay-at-home mother. My education was very important to both of them because neither of them had been able to even finish high school. So when I got the full scholarship to Washington University, they were the ones who got teary-eyed. I was too young and too naive to really understand what an amazing path had just opened up for me. I basically knew nothing at all about college. But from the day I arrived on campus, I saw just how special Washington University is and how very different the next 4 years, and in fact the rest of my life, would be because of that scholarship. I met people from all over the world. I took some really great classes. I had fantastic professors. By the time I was a junior, I had started taking 18-hour semesters just to take advantage of everything that WashU had to offer while I was there. And Tom, meanwhile, was studying in Pennsylvania.
I grew up near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a child of Depression-era parents and first-generation college just like Ellen. My undergraduate college was in my hometown, where I received scholarship money from various sources, and that covered about 3/4 of my tuition. This took most of the financial burden of my education off my mother. I knew I was pretty lucky even back then. When I started grad school at WashU in 1975, I was in the PhD program in the physics department, and I was paid a monthly stipend of $600. In addition to that stipend, I also had tuition remission for the courses and research hours I carried for the rest of my time at WashU. So for my whole grad school career, I paid nothing out of pocket for my education except for books, all while receiving monthly income from WashU. I'm still thankful to this very day for that level of support I received then.
And so Tom was there, and we met on campus in 1977. Another great reason to love Washington University. And then once we were established in our careers, we began to think about helping other young people, other young students as we had been helped. We were both able to take advantage of employer matching gift programs. And then after a year or two, we joined the Elliott Society.
So when WashU asked if we'd like to designate our gifts for scholarships, that appealed to us, given our experience being on the receiving end of those scholarships as students. We contribute annually to scholarships. We've made a charitable trust donation to WashU, and we have additional gifts specified in our estate plans. We've enjoyed our long association with WashU, so we'll continue to happily pay forward the help we received years ago when we were students.
We love hearing from those students every year, and we also enjoy being just part of the Alumni Association. WashU continues to give to us through the excellent alumni programming, especially during the pandemic. And so we'd like to end with a big thank you to Washington University for supporting us when we were young and launching us on a path that allows us to be generous to the successive generations of students.
Now I'd like to introduce our scholarship video, which features 3 students who have received scholarships discussing the impact that these scholarships have had on their time at WashU.
I can imagine all of the times in my childhood where I was journaling about everything that I wanted to be and all the things that I wanted to accomplish, and people telling me that it might not be possible.
I fell in love with WashU instantly. Throughout my academic experience, I'd always felt this imposter syndrome. I'd always thought I wasn't good enough, especially in comparison to my peers. Hearing that I was a good candidate for college admissions was really validating. I got to WashU and then people were doing all sort of these amazing creative things. It opened this whole new world into professional opportunities, academic opportunities that otherwise I wouldn't have known about.
When I found out I got into WashU, I was elated. I feel like I was opening so many doors to possibilities, to working in labs, taking classes that wouldn't be possible elsewhere. Being able to, do research is, what's actually exciting about physics, because you are, going to probe and look for things that no one has ever seen before. You really feel like you're kind of an explorer in a sense.
When I first came to WashU, I was a bit nervous about how I would fit in with the student demographic and how I would be able to connect with people even though we might have came from different backgrounds. I was under the impression that in order to have financial security and happiness in life, I needed a career that would make me a lot of money. But through experiences at WashU and meeting different people, I found a way to combine both so that I can have fulfillment in life and be able to enjoy doing what I'm doing while also having financial security.
As a freshman, I declared a physics major, and in doing that, you go meet with the head of the department, and he referred me to Dr. Hendrickson. It was a huge deal for me. Them being willing to accept me and kind of teach me along the way was very exciting. It kind of proved, that this was the place to be in order to do research like that.
WashU is really different in providing programming and resources that last throughout your 4 years. And I think the biggest example of that is the Deneb STARS community, which provides lower income and first generation students the resources and support to succeed academically as well as socially. And that is crucial for kind of finding your place on campus, especially in saying like you deserve to be here and you belong here, and that's not something that you have to prove.
WashU has definitely helped me develop my own academic passions with extracurricular involvement. I joined SWAP. And SWAP is a reusable recycling store that people donate, and then we cycle that throughout the WashU community. As someone who champions thrifting and upcycling and recycling, that has been one of my biggest extracurricular involvements and really complements my major.
I knew I wanted to go into healthcare, but it was really important to me that I was able to focus on creating long-lasting connections and building community with the people that I'm working with. My whole purpose, or at least the goal for myself, is to be someone who's able to use my privileges in order to uplift other people.
The faculty here at WashU and the graduate students have really, allowed me to grow in a lot of ways. They've not only taught me, how to go about doing things in the lab, but also how to go about scientific research in general. That's something that's hard to put into words, how much that means to me.
Growing up and seeing food deserts was a huge part of my upbringing. I interned with a nonprofit and really got to know about environmental racism and how that impacted others, but also I got to realize how that had impacted my community growing up. My hope is that no child is ever left hungry, as broad as that is, I think being able to remedy that with the knowledge that I have in the environmental department is what I'm looking forward to.
Although I'm still working jobs, I feel like scholarship at WashU has made me feel that I belong here in the sense of creating an understanding for myself that the school wants my basic necessities met and they want me to focus on being a student. So instead of always focusing on the now, like how am I going to eat my next meal, I can really focus on like, what do I want to be in the future? How do I want to change the world?
In receiving a scholarship, I haven't had to worry about, getting a good job. I can, pursue research on campus. I can join different groups and not have to worry about how I'm going to pay for it all.
I don't think I would have been as academically focused if I hadn't gotten that scholarship, because I'd be too busy working at part-time jobs, being able to pay for that. But I think, thankfully, with the scholarship, I've been able to dedicate my time to things more focused to my academic interests.
Scholarship at WashU has really allowed me to open those doors and really unlocked all of the possibilities and the ways I could think about myself, my involvement in the community, and how I want to be in the future.
This has really not only changed my life, but scholarship has really validated me being a college student, and it's something that I'm endlessly grateful for.
I think for life beyond WashU, it's inspired me to keep doing research in condensed matter physics. I think here I've really found a passion for what I want, the rest of my life to look like. The dream would be to discover, a property about a quantum material that would then be able to be implemented into someone's everyday life.
I'm so grateful for the impact scholarship has had on my life. WashU has provided enough resources and experiences where I can understand within myself that I deserve to exist just in the way that I'm existing. Thank you for all of the resources provided here at WashU.
Thank you, for allowing me to pursue my passions without having the burden of financial stress.
Thank you for not only investing in me, but also to the community that I belong to. As I graduate college, I look forward to helping those with similar demographic characteristics as myself and really paving it forward for others to go to WashU.
Many thanks to Jackson, Raphael, and Ronell for sharing their time and their stories with us tonight. As you can see from the video, the students whose arts and sciences education you support are quite extraordinary, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for them. So we have a few more comments to share from the chat. Atlee is a first-generation student who wrote, quote, "Being awarded this scholarship has allowed me to continue the pursuit of my Bachelor of Science while achieving this goal has at times felt impossible," end of quote. Vanessa wrote, quote, "Scholarship has been a tremendous support to me as I struggled with my health this past year. I'm a senior and the scholarships are providing me comfort to complete my education. I'm so grateful for this opportunity," end of quote. Thank you also to Tom Chesney, a scholarship supporter or sponsor who shared that he gives because he would not be where he is today without the generosity of donors who funded the scholarship he received. Thank you, Tom, for paying it forward and supporting scholarship. And thank you again to all the donors and students who have shared what scholarship means to you. Many of you tonight are watching are already strong supporters of our arts and sciences community through your annual sponsorship of scholarships or fellowships, or through the establishment of an endowed fund. Thank you. We are extremely grateful for your support, and I hope that you have found the experience of being a scholarship donor a rewarding and enriching one. The goal of this evening is to bring our students and donors together so that each group can more fully understand and appreciate the people on the other side of the gift. If you've attended one of these events in person before, you know what a special moment it can be when a student and a donor connect for the first time. Since we aren't all able to gather safely together this year, our Arts and Sciences Advancement Team recently sent you, our donors, a profile of your scholarship recipient, including their email address. We hope that you will reach out to the student or students who receive your scholarship to say hello, introduce yourself, and perhaps arrange a call through a member of the Arts and Sciences Advancement staff. It is a wonderful opportunity to learn more about the students' WashU journey so far and their plans for the future, so that you can concretely see the impact of your generosity. If you have questions or need help reaching out, please contact a member of the Arts and Sciences Advancement staff, and they will be happy to assist you. For those of you who are not currently sponsoring scholarships, I hope that tonight's event has inspired you to consider supporting one, or at least to learn more about the scholarship program. I want to conclude our event by thanking all of you for taking the time tonight to celebrate with us the impact of scholarship support. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and thank you again for your continued support of arts and sciences and our students.